Honourable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favour on this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as it thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic, our members of Parliament and Ministers of State with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labours of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, that good purposes for the common human life be realized in harmony. O God, grant us the vision of our country, whereas it might be, country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, we will commence with a correction of votes and proceedings of Wednesday, June 14th, 2020. Thursday, June 15th, 2023. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Page 17. Page 18. Page 19. Page 20. Page 21. Page 22. Page 23. Page 24. Page 25. Page 26. 27. 28. 29. Page 30. Page 31. Page 32. Page 33. Page 34. Page 35. Page 36. 37. Page 38. Page 39. Page 40. page 41 and page 42. Honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the vote and proceedings of Thursday, June 15, 2021, hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Yes, Honourable Leader.
Mr. Speaker, not to drag us back, but with your leave, I just want a clarification on item 3 in attendance. We have Mrs. Rosemary Arthur-Sako, the Principal Assistant Clerk and Clerk to the committee. And when you come to the others, it is their rank that is stated.
Sorry, page, which page?
42.
42.
42.
No. Yes, let me hear you.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, I just want a clarification for the record. If you come to item 3, in attendance, that whole bit has to do with the business committee. We start with the opening, then attendance, members have been listed. Then Mrs. Rosemary Arthur-Sako is referred to as a Principal Assistant Clerk and Clerk to the committee. The point I'm making is that the other officers, their rank, their substantive rank is what is stated. So I want to know what they are and what role they play, because that must also come. If that is the standard thing, that is fine. But to the extent that Mrs. Rosemary Arthur-Sako has been so described as a clerk to the committee, then the other members of the committee must also be described as such. So, because we have a secretary, we have an administrator, and all that, aside their principal designation. So that is what I want it captured, so that it becomes a true reflection of what the situation is.
Honourable Leader.
Yes, sir.
I thought if you're going to raise issues, you start from item 1, second paragraph. The Honourable Deputy Majority Leader and Vice Chairman, Mr. Alexander Kwame, presided in attendance, Frank Anadompre and others. Their positions are not accorded. The ranking member is not acknowledged. So the standard practice is just acknowledge the head.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, we are doing the correction, and we are seeking your guidance on that. I will come to that. You've drawn my attention to it. But, Mr. Speaker,
all I'm suggesting is that how it is reported is the standard practice. It's only the clerk to the committee whose rank is recorded, because she or he takes ultimate responsibility. That's as the chair or the vice chair who presided, who takes ultimate responsibility for the report. Yes, Honourable.
Mr. Speaker, you were here on time for us to start. I saw you wait at the lobby even before leadership came in. With your indulgence, we decided to do business in this part, knowing very well that Parliament, half of Parliament is up north somewhere, performing some duties. The Deputy Majority Leader is aware. He's chaired that meeting. If the idea is to delay proceedings, bidding time for somebody to emerge in the chamber, that will not be fair to some of us. So, Leader, please allow Mr. Speaker to proceed. I thought when you got up, you were going to ask him to allow you to read the business statement. Now you are coming to do something that is mundane, which is normal. So, Mr. Speaker, I plead with you. We had an understanding. Can we proceed so that these mundane things that can be corrected without drawing your attention, we can proceed, Mr. Speaker. Leader, please allow the process to go on.
Yes, Honorable Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we are dealing with the vote. It's too early in the day. If I am seeking clarification on the matter, I do not expect my colleague on the other side to say I am using that as a bait to do something. It's most unfair. All I wanted to do was to get this thing properly done. But Mr. Speaker says that that is how it's supposed to be. And I rest my case and I leave it to him. I don't think that we have to banter over this matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me refer you to Standing Order 34. 34. And with your kind permission, I'll read 34:1. The minutes of the proceedings of Parliament called Votes and Proceedings shall be a record of the attendance of members at each sitting, and all decisions of Parliament, and shall be kept by the clerk. The votes and proceedings shall be printed and shall be the journal of the House. Mr. Speaker, we are correcting a very important document provided for in our standing orders. So it's just fair for any other member to make the necessary contributions before it is adopted and goes into our record. My point is that, Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee, which was chaired by my brother, my left, Honorable Deputy Leader, in this era of digitalization, where Right Honorable Speaker will assume the chair and come and be reading page 1, page 2, up to page 42, as recorded on Thursday, the 15th of December's sitting. With this console before us, I don't know what the Business Committee has been doing to digitalize the recording of our votes so that we don't waste paper. We are in a paperless era. Yet, the Business Committee is not telling us, Kwame Abuja, you are not telling us anything. Kwame Abuja, you were in that meeting. Your name is here.
Honorable, who are you referring to as Kwame Abuja in the House?
The member for Adaklu.
Very well. So you may refer to him as a member for Adaklu.
Governs Kwame Abuja, my brother.
Or the chief whip.
The minority chief whip.
Better.
Who replaced Honorable Muitaka.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know why the two leaders, the deputy leader and then the acting majority whip, decided to go this line. Mr. Speaker, why are they playing the game of filibustering here? At their back, there's nobody there. There are only four. Single 4. Mr. Speaker, if we turn our area, I think we can get a lotto number for tomorrow. So single 436. Mr. Speaker, we should stop this and go straight to the business. Why?
Speaker, I was making a very, very important point that my good friend James, Honorable James Kluche Aveji from Ketu North interrupted me. And I take serious exception to that. That in this era of digitalization, that Honorable Governor Kwame Agbodja, whom I very respect, will go into a business committee meeting and not come out with a very good proposal to digitalize the votes and proceedings to be on our console. We are wasting paper. We are wasting public funds. And the business committee ought to take the necessary step, Mr. Speaker. So it's very important that...
The point is well taken. It will be taken at the Rules Committee. Honourable members, let's complete the votes and proceedings. I actually brought that to a conclusion when the Honourable Deputy Leader raised a matter has been corrected. Now we are done with votes and proceedings. We are proceeding to the next matter, is whether there is any votes and proceedings. No. If you have any issue, please deal with the table office. They will make the effect any correction. Yes. Let me start from here. Votes and proceedings. No. Very well.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I have been very impressed by your leadership anytime you assume the chair. And as a fresh person in the House, I'm really ready to learn and to make sure that I contribute my quota to the development of this House. I rise on Order 48, 1 and 2. And with your kind, 48-1, 48-1 and 2. With your kind permission, Mr. Speaker, I would want to read: the presence of at least 1/3 of all members of Parliament besides the person presiding shall be necessary to constitute a quorum of the House. And if you go to 48-2, it further states, if at the time of sitting a member takes notice or objection that there are present in the House besides the person presiding less than 1/3 of the number of all the members of Parliament, and after an interval of 10 minutes, a quorum is not present, the person presiding shall adjourn the House without question, put until the next sitting day. Mr. Speaker, given your vast experience, your rich contributions to this House, I find it...
All right, the patronizing is enough.
Okay, it's on now. My confidence to rise and to call the House to this particular section stems from the fact that your good self in the chair is known, at least by myself, to have promoted the tenets of this House. And in rising, I want to call your attention to the key words of our own standing orders, which indicates a sharp and a 10 minutes room for you to look at the situation, and in the absence of a rectification for the necessary quorum, you have the singular authority to adjourn without any question. Mr. Speaker, I call you to this noble function so to perform. Thank you.
Very well. That's all right. Thank you. I've taken notice of your objection. The standing orders also give me power to even suspend any one of the standing orders when necessary. In this case, we have agreed that we'll do the business statement, and after that, if there's any opportunity to do anything else. But the business statement, as agreed by the House, will be taken. So, yes, Honorable Deputy Leader, you may do the business statement now. Any rule relating to adjournment is hereby suspended until after the business notice.
Right Honorable Speaker. Your committee Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee met yesterday, Thursday, the 15th of June, 2023, and arranged business of the House for the third week ending Friday, 23rd June 2023. Mr. Speaker, the report of the committee is hereby submitted as follows. Mr. Speaker, one, we acknowledge that by our rules, Mr. Speaker would read any formal communication available to the House. And then again, considering the number of questions that have been filed and admitted, we concluded on a total of 38 questions to be answered in the ensuing week. And these include 10 by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, 3 Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, 2 Minister for Employment and Labor Relations, 3 Minister of State at the Office of the President, 4 Minister for Sanitation, Minister of State at the Office of the President is doing 3, a Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources doing 8, Minister for Roads and Highways doing 12. So, Mr. Speaker, we expect the 6 ministers to attend upon the House to respond to these questions. We have one urgent question out of the lot, and the rest are regular questions. Then, Mr. Speaker, on statements, subject to Order 72, Mr. Speaker, subject to Order 72, which provides, and with your leave, I read, by the indulgence of the House and leave of Mr. Speaker, a member at any time appointed for statement under Order 53, explain a matter of personal nature or make a statement on a matter of urgent public importance. Any statement other than a personal statement may be commented upon by other members for a limited duration of time, not exceeding 1 hour. The terms of any such proposed statement shall first be submitted to Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, as aforesaid, the item 2B that we've proposed, members would have to take notes in preparing their statement, and those who want to comment should also be guided by the relevant order. Mr. Speaker, item 2C. Papers may be laid and reports taken and presented to the House. Of course, Mr. Speaker, we also propose that where there are motions to be debated, same can be done and consequential resolutions taken, if any. Mr. Speaker, we have the following bills, and that is captured under item 3. We have the following bills already with committees. Grains Development Authority Bill 2022, Wildlife Resources Management Bill 2022, Interstate Succession Bill 2022. Ghana Industrial Property Office Bill 2023, Rent Bill 2023, Budget Bill 2023, Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2022, and the National Petroleum Amendment Bill 2023. Mr. Speaker, we encourage committee members, especially leadership of committees, to ensure that they expedite work on these bills so that same can be taken on the House floor. Mr. Speaker, we have barely 7 weeks to go, and we encourage members to do the needful, to be punctual in the House and ensure that the business is carried. Mr. Speaker, so having submitted this report, let me conclude by saying that, fortified by Order 162 and subject to Standing Order 53, the committee submit to this House the order in which the business of the House shall be taken. And just for the avoidance of doubt, Mr. Speaker, I shall read the relevant orders I rely on to move this House to adopt the report, just for the avoidance of doubt. Mr. Speaker, I first relied on Order 162. The Speaker, Order 162 provides, it shall be the function of the committee subject to Order 53 to determine the business of each sitting and the order in which it shall be taken. So, Mr. Speaker, we have determined what is supposed to be done in the ensuing week. And that is what the rule says. So now, Mr. Speaker, the order in which it shall be taken, we've also complied as a committee. We've attached here too, as an appendix, the work to be done for each day in the ensuing week. And it's a 6-page annexure. Right. So, Mr. Speaker, on Tuesday, the following questions have been tabled.
Well, we have copies, so can they leave the details for us? Thank you.
Then Wednesday, Mr. Speaker, we've listed the questions to be answered. Mr. Speaker, we have the all-important Ghana Commission for UNESCO Bill 2022 here, and the Interstate Bill is also there. Mr. Speaker, on Tuesday, we're going to present this important paper, which is a financing agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana and the International Fund for Agricultural Development. Mr. Speaker, the purpose of the loan is to finance promoting rural opportunities and sustainable profit and environmental resilience. And it's very, very important.
I thought I said we have copies, so leave the details to us.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
If you are done, I'll refer to members for copies.
Yes, but Mr. Speaker, at the committee, we agreed that certain items must be emphasized so that members. Yes, that is. Excuse me, honourable member. That is not the way to do it. With respect.
Leader, address.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Speaker. At the committee meeting where I chaired, when we had discussion, where I was directed to emphasize certain points. So with your leave, I will proceed, but without your leave, I will leave it as it is.
Which point? Just mention the headline.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, yes. I was directed to emphasize the paper to be laid regarding the agreement between the government of Ghana and the International Fund for Agricultural Development. The purpose of the facility, Mr. Speaker, is to promote real opportunities and sustainable profit and environmental.
That's the heading.
Yes, yes. So, Mr. Speaker, because of the purpose.
It's all right.
That's why, yes.
You will read it when it is.
Sure, Mr. Speaker, as it pleases you. So, Mr. Speaker, Thursday program has also been attached, and then Friday. So, entreating members to be present. Well, Mr. Speaker, having worked, I move the House to adopt this report. One motion that does not need anyone to second. I thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I've listened carefully to the Deputy Majority Leader presenting the business statement for this week. He emphasized that the almighty UNESCO bill will be taken on Tuesday. Mr. Speaker, we are wasting paper printing this bill for the past 2 weeks, and even a number of weeks before we went on recess the other time. And Mr. Speaker, we have come back. We are not doing any of these things. Then when it is getting to the end of the meeting, then we'll be made to sit long hours into the night. Mr. Speaker, that is a problem this House is facing. So I will appeal to the leadership through you that they should let us do some of these bills that are here on this paper for so long now. We can finish with these bills in time so that we don't punish ourselves when we are about to go on recess. Mr. Speaker, that's my appeal to the leadership through you. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Let me support my brother Peter Notukocho from Akachi, North or South. North. Mr. Speaker, it's very worrying that a bill-making chamber, we come for a meeting. This is the third meeting. And these very important bills are still outstanding to the extent that the business committee will make this very important call on the House and the leadership. One, to expedite work on the consideration of these bills. It's very worrying, Mr. Speaker. We are supposed to pass laws or make laws and have them signed or assented to by the President. But for us to come and sit here and not know where some of these bills or memos are is very worrying. And I believe I call on the leadership, Honorable Alexander Fenyon-Macken, Honorable Chairman Sabos, Honorable Atufosi, Honorable Kwame Abuja. What are you doing as leaders of the House with regards to these bills? Very important. I've mentioned his name. And the ranking member for Constitutional Legal, you have a lot of them here.
Yes, Honorable Ranking Member.
Mr. Speaker, I want my learned colleague to know that the bills refer to the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. We have dealt with it, submitted the reports, and most of the bills are due for second reading. So once our report has been submitted, it accords with common sense and reason that there is nothing that the committee can do. When it is programmed by the business committee, we are ready to take the second reading. 3 days ago, they programmed the Contract Act and the Whistleblowers Act. We took the second reading. Then after the second reading, it is again for the business committee to program it for consideration to be done. So regarding constitutional legal, please don't have done what we are supposed to do.
Very well. There's a letter here from the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources. They are requesting that the day they have been programmed to answer questions. On those days, they have prior commitments, so they are requesting that you reprogram them, bring them 2 days or so forward, so that they can appear. So please take note. The letter has been brought to my attention. Have them brought to the committee so that you consider and reprogram them to appear earlier. The minister is always available to answer questions, and I think it's extremely courteous to write requesting that we program them afresh. So, Business Committee, the letter is referred to you to act accordingly. Thank you. Members, yes, do you have any more comments before I bring? I was looking around, there was nobody on his feet. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, listening to the Deputy Majority Leader speak on the business statement, he spoke about bills that have been referred to committees that they need to work on. I just want to draw the attention of the Business Committee to a private member's bill that has already had its report from committee late, the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values bill, that they should table that for business of the House. We can begin to sit on it and do the second reading pending other government business. So if they can table it for next, thank you.
Yes, Leader, do you want to say anything?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is not true that certain reports have been submitted to the Business Committee. However, we would follow up with the leadership of the Constitutional and Legal Committee. The ranking member made a statement to the effect that they are done with their work. We would follow up with you and your chair, and also liaise with the table office so that the needful will be done. Mr. Speaker, on other matters, leadership will consult and revert to the House. I thank you, sir.
I've been advised that on the bill on proper sexual human rights, is that right? In respect of that bill, there's a court action pending which Mr. Speaker has been made a party. The Speaker brought the court action to the attention of leaders. And so I think in considering program or not programming it, you may wish to discuss with the Speaker and what steps you may take before you program them. Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, just to add to the point made by you, we have two court actions, a High Court and a Supreme Court process against it. So you're right that we may have to do the consultation with the Speaker to determine whether or not, in view of the constitutional interpretation being sought, we could proceed and all that. So, honorable member who inquired, that is what we have as the latest. And like I assured you, Mr. Speaker said, we would engage to determine so that we do not render any outcome of the decision obtuse or find ourselves in a clash with the judiciary. So we will discuss all of these. I thank you, sir.
Very well, honorable members. Are you on your feet? Oh, very well. The business statement as presented is hereby adopted by the House. Yes, leaders.
I want to amend. What was it? Raise.
Yes.
I want to amend offensive.
Mr. Speaker, I'm just trying to draw the attention of my colleague that what we agreed at conclave, you have actually carried us through. So you should make the application for us to adjourn. That was what was agreed, please.
Mr. Speaker, this morning I've been resisting the temptation to have a banter. Kwame, you have not had to read my mind's construction. A member for Offenso South has come with a legitimate matter, which matter borders on the content of his question, that certain communities were omitted. It's part of the question. No. So, Kwame, would you listen to me? His question has been programmed. Mr. Speaker, let me address you.
That is a clerical matter.
Yeah.
So, the table of
yes,
this
Mr.
will
Speaker,
deal
I
with.
wanted to address you so that we capture these to be. Yeah,
the table office will deal with that.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Question time, do you allow?
Can you address me, Honorable Leader?
Mr. Speaker, rightly so. Mr. Speaker, I wanted your leave to include the communities that were omitted in your question, according to.
Okujeto, are you challenging the speaker?
Can you finish?
Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
the member rightly filed his question with a certain content. It is not, whoever is saying that to correct it, he has to go to the table office, is wrong. With respect. Those of you, when you want to do standing orders, we do standing orders. If you are talking about practice, do practice. The member filed a question. The question that he filed had certain communities. He's saying that in admitting them, when the question appeared on this, certain communities were omitted. All he seeks is for us to include them to make his question complete. It's as simple as that.
Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised at the leader's statement or submission. He knows very well in this House that there are procedures. If a member has filed a question and thinks that there should be correction done to the question, it is not a leader that will stand and start making statements about that question. The leader knows, the member in question knows exactly what to do. And so don't delay us. We have time. We want to go back to our constituency. No, people are not here. We have, the speaker has made a bell to be rang, and just allow us to go because your people are not ready to work. That's it.
Please, honorable members, if there's an error in the question presented by him, it cannot be corrected here. If the error is in you reporting to us, it's a clerical matter which the table office can do. So we have no. You can only correct your business statement. The question in it is only a notice that will have a question. So it is settled. The business statement has been adopted. We'll proceed. Yes, leaders, I was waiting on you. We agreed on something. So,
Mr. Speaker, with your leave, we proceed to item 7, which has to do with questions. Finance is in the House, please.
yes, Honorable Deputy Chief Whip, I want to hear you.
Mr. Speaker, I repeat, you were around on time for us to start business. Without mentioning anybody's name, it was our fault for you not to start on time. We agreed on certain businesses for the day because, as you can see, Mr. Speaker, right now, Speaker Bagbin and the second Deputy Speaker are up north doing parliamentary business in relation to the 30th anniversary. Our our colleagues, majority of the colleagues on the minority side, we are told have followed the Vice President, His Excellency, to file his nomination. So they are not in the right numbers. Mr. Speaker, that's what I'm told. Mr. Speaker, let's do what the public expects us to do. I listened to one of my colleagues made an application to you. You directed that we've agreed to take the business statement, and we have done that. So, Mr. Speaker, maybe it's time to address the concern of the colleague who made the application, and after you, then we can make progress if need be.
Honourable members, before the start of proceedings, the leadership agreed, and they informed me before I even arrived, that in the face of the businesses happening outside of Accra, parliamentary business happening outside of Accra, we will do only business statement. And subsequently, the issue arose that the finance minister is often busy. So if he has been programmed to come, if he comes, what do we do? We agreed that the members who ask the question themselves may not be here. If it so happens, what should we do? He just walks in just at the time we're supposed to have closed. Now, answers have been provided in the order paper. If there's any member whose question has been programmed and is here and is willing to answer the question, I'll refer to the leaders. If there's no member here, I'll advise that the answers are published in the Hansard as provided. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, a question to the Finance Minister and answers emanating from the Finance Minister must be taken when the House is properly constituted. Mr. Speaker, I will refer you to Article 102 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, as well as Standing Order 48 of our rules, taking into consideration the decision of the Supreme Court in the case of Justice Abdullahi versus Attorney General that the Speaker is very much aware of. Having regard to the number, I do not think we should take this important business. In fact, we have barely 12 people from the majority side, and looking at the minority side, putting the numbers together, we are even less than 40. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm drawing your attention to the constitutional imperative in Article 102 and the Standing Order 48. Mr. Speaker, I so submit.
Yes.
Count.
Mr. Speaker,
I count. 27. You are
the
not 40.
standing orders, I take it that he's made an application to you.
Yes.
Now, yes, so, well, that notwithstanding, he's made an application. Mr. Speaker, the application made requires a certain process. The application made requires a process to be followed. If you are talking about the rules and the Constitution, then comply with the rules prescribed there too. So, Mr. Speaker, fair enough. The Minister of Finance is in the House. I do not think that it is his case that his members who have asked the questions, who are in this chamber, Honorable Delasowa, who is in the chamber, Honorable Abla Jifa Gomeshi, who is in the chamber, the Minister of Finance is here to answer all your questions. The Finance Minister, Ken Oforiatta, is in this chamber, well prepared to answer your questions.
Listen.
The Finance Minister has come to this house to listen to you and to let your constituents who have elected you know that the questions you filed have been answered are being answered. To enable you make up your follow-up, come up with your follow-ups.
You are not interested.
So, Mr. Speaker, if you say
Roxy, move the questions.
you will use some other imperatives to injunct him, say so. Say so. Mr. Speaker, we cannot suddenly adjourn the House. In any event, in any event,
Dela is here.
in any event, Mr. Speaker said, Mr. Speaker ruled that for the time being, he's exercising his power of suspending the rules. And it's also part of our rules. Mr. Speaker says he has suspended those rules. He said so. If you want to challenge you have to file. Mr. Speaker, I don't expect a colleague at the back bench to talk back when I'm making a submission. Take your time, let me finish. Catch the eye of Mr. Speaker, because you made the first application. And we all listened to you in silence. Honorable member who first made the application. You cannot do that. You can't do that.
Why?
You have to listen to me. I listen to you. So, Mr. Speaker, the finance minister
is here.
An able and affable minister. He's here in his white. Listening to us quietly. He did not come here late. Don't get that impression. At the time I made the application for Mr. Speaker to allow questions, he had walked in. He had walked in at the very time the application was made. And as soon as Mr. Speaker granted the application, he was already seated. So, Mr. Speaker, the country cannot wait when the man is here to answer questions for you to say that you are not ready to ask your questions. If you're not ready to ask your questions, say so.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, he can proceed to answer his questions whilst we consider the imperatives of the application. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Leader.
Mr. Speaker, just to place on record, the finance minister was scheduled to answer these questions previously. It was his absence that led the committee to reschedule to today. So be guided that this is not the original date he was supposed to answer the question. Secondly, I'm surprised you are tempting Speaker to suspend the provisions in the Constitution. Encouraging Speaker that he should use his powers to ignore whatever we are saying. Of course, he can suspend the standing orders under 48. But what about Article 102? Does Speaker have the right to suspend Article 102 as well? Don't tempt Mr. Speaker. Let Mr. Speaker do the right thing for the constituents, for yourself. Mr. Speaker, don't be tempted by Honorable the Deputy Majority Leader. He's leading you into a path that is not sustainable as far as the Constitution is concerned. Mr. Speaker cannot suspend the Constitution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
He's talking law.
Very well. Honourable members, when the House is properly constituted, the minister may ask questions, may answer questions, member may ask questions. We tried to do an arrangement if there was agreement between the leaders. There's obviously no agreement, and I'm enjoined under the Constitution to bring proceedings to a close if the House is not properly constituted, as in we don't have the appropriate number of members in the House. There are 275 of us. At least 93 of us must be present in the House to constitute a quorum. In fact, in this case, it is minus this person presiding. So 93 minus the person presiding is what is needed to constitute a quorum. So, unless we have that number, and members are prepared to overlook that, we do that often, it is our choice. If members are not prepared to overlook that, then I'm bound by the Constitution to bring proceedings to a close. Leader, I've heard you enough. It's enough. The minister is here, unfortunately. The members and there are so many things happening. Ordinarily, It may not have been out of place if Parliament did not sit the whole week in view of the proceedings that are happening out of Accra, which is part of the parliamentary business. But our circumstances are such that some of these actions may be misinterpreted, and so we continue to sit, and we have sat throughout the week. Unfortunately, today, we don't have the numbers to constitute a quorum to do business. In the circumstances, I'll bring proceedings to a close and adjourn the House until Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. Yes, Honorable Yabama, I'm adjourning. What is the matter?
Mr. Speaker, I just want some clarity from you. No, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, order. Order. Yes.
Does it mean you are overlooking the 10-minute interval required by our rules? And also the fact that Honorable Dela Sowan, member for Kwando, is in the chamber, and Honorable Abla Gomashi is in the chamber. James Kluche Avenue is in the chamber. So that it's on record that the members refuse to ask the questions when the Minister of Finance appeared. We want it on record. Gakpe is here.
Thank you for your observation.
Thank you.
The House is not properly constituted at this time, and I'll bring proceedings to a close. The House is adjourned to Tuesday, June 20th at 10 o'clock in the